So it's been a year now, as we've been hearing in the national news since this country went into its first lockdown. And on Tuesday, I know that many of us spent a minute at midday and lit candles in the evening to remember those that have lost their lives to the pandemic. Both, I'm sure we all know people in our private lives as well as in our professional lives. And of course, for an organisation, we have tragically lost 5 members of staff, and we spent time remembering them and their families and their colleagues. It's been a time to reflect, and there have been lots of positives. We've continued to deliver safe and responsive service to our patients in the region. We continue to support the systems both in the region and outside of the region in responding to both the pandemic and the challenges that we would normally face in any year. As we come into the next phase, we will see, as we know, restrictions being lifted. We will see an end to shielding, and we need to be very clear and make sure that we support our staff who are shielding. We're not expecting staff who are shielding to immediately return on the 1st of April. Whilst it's a date in the lifting of the restrictions, we absolutely owe it to our most vulnerable staff to make sure that we continue to support them, review the risk assessments, and ensure that if they are returning to work, that they're doing so in a safe and supported environment. The national teams are currently completing their guidance, and we will continue to work at a national level and then internally in the organisation to ensure that the guidance is distributed amongst our management teams, and that our shielded staff and our most vulnerable staff are supported in that decision. We want everyone to feel that they've had an opportunity to be risk assessed, and where appropriate allowed to complete mandatory training and a phased return to work if they have been out of the area that they would normally work in for a long period of time. So over the next days to weeks, we'll see some guidance coming out to management teams, and please, if you are shielding, there is a plan. We want to support you, but we don't expect you to feel you have to come back immediately into the workplace until you've had that risk assessment. Our culture work continues. It's continued throughout the pandemic and the winter. If you go to Need to Know, you'll see an infographic that shows the most recent activity. This includes the activities that are going on to tackle the long-standing unacceptable behaviour, ongoing support for our managers, and updated training and policies. I do encourage us all, please, to read the summary. Staff have taken the time to speak up. Colleagues have taken the time to speak out, and it's important that we both demonstrate that we're listening and acting on what we're hearing, and it's important that the organisation sees what actions are underway. Before I answer the questions that are coming in, we've had lots of development in the way that we use a just culture in approaching incidents and complaints. We've had a lot of positive feedback for the new roundtable just culture approach that the patient safety and clinical teams have been taking to serious incidents and complaints. And next week we will roll this process out further, and it will start to include incidents and complaints that may not reach the serious incident threshold, but would benefit from a just culture roundtable approach. This is a big change. It's focused on individuals and teams and giving them time to reflect both on what went well and what lessons can be learnt and move forward. The feedback, as I say, has been really positive, and so I hope that as this gains traction and we look at using this process to deal with more and more issues, that it will be continue to grow and be seen as a positive.